हाँ। Good morning, everyone. Now we will start the session. We have our speaker joined with us.
Hello,
So,
Shireen. I'm
Shilpi,
already here.
yes, you, ma'am, you are audible.
Yes.
So, welcome back to the two of our insightful workshop on advanced panel data technique on GMM estimation. So we are delighted to have Dr. Shilpi Tyagi with us once again today as an accomplished researcher and educator at Thapar University. She continues to enrich our session with her expertise in innovation, economics, and applied econometrics. Her engaging approach and deep insights made yesterday's session exceptionally valuable, and today we promise the same to be equally impactful. Now let's extend a warm welcome back to Dr. Tyagi as we delve further into dynamic panel modeling and GMM estimation. So, good morning, ma'am. Thank you for joining us, and over to you.
Thank you, Shireen. Thank you very much. I'm trying to share my screen, but I don't know why. It's still
Yeah,
not
ma'am.
working
I'll
for me.
just
Just
stop
give me
my
two, three
present.
minutes to okay. It's for that
Yeah,
reason. But
no,
no,
yeah,
not even now.
yeah.
Just a minute. I don't know why, but I'm not able to share it. The screen is here, but can you guys just give me 2 minutes?
Yeah, sure, ma'am. Please take your time.
Yeah.
And so this is for like all the participants. We have shared yesterday the recording link and other details. So we have got around like 12 or 13 feedbacks. We will definitely try to take up in this session. But if time doesn't permit, we will mail you back with the answers for your queries in case we are unable to cover in this session. And we will take queries today also, but like we will try to take at the end or whenever the speaker will allow, we'll have the queries. No problem.
So good morning, everyone. Am I audible to you?
Yes.
Okay. So
If anyone
uh,
has not received the data set for today, like just comment here. I'll share the link here also. We have already shared in the group and mail, but I'll share here in the chat box as well. Yeah, ma'am.
okay. So like first I'm starting with what I have shared with you. Okay, so that we are on the same page of like how to use it. Okay. Can you see this folder GMM estimation on the screen now? Am I audible? Okay. Okay, fine. So when you see it, it was a proper folder. I was not able to share in the folder format. But if we go to the first folder here, there are two papers which you can use for result and interpretation. One paper from the Oxford Bulletin of Economics and Statistics is a bit advanced paper, and this one by economy is a basic kind of paper. So you can use any as per your liking. but both the paper handle, there might be few papers which uses very advanced application, but they do not really interpret about everything. But in these two papers, when I tried to search, they have interpreted about everything. So I thought it will be useful for you. Okay. And there are thousands of papers available on Google Scholar as well. You can pick and choose as per your liking and understanding. So along with these two papers, I have shared with you three do files. Okay. One is GMM application final, GMM application AB estimator, and GMM application. I think these have the same type of command only, but the main file that you can use is GMM application AB estimator. And then I have shared with you an Excel sheet workshop data. It's different, though it goes by the same name as of yesterday, but this file is different. We have a variety of data here with year dummies and all. So please use this file today. So this is about what I have shared. And Shireen, sorry. So I have also received few queries from you yesterday. First, I would like to answer those queries, and then I'll move further from there. So just give me a moment. But I remember few queries. So maybe before it opens, I can tell you. There was a query about how to work on the log file. Okay. So for working on the log file, okay, if you are not very clear about it, I'll start telling you about the log file when we start working on Stata today. There was one more query on yeah. So there is one query. I'm going to read it one by one and answer it. What is the file name for today's session? The file name is basically, you can use two files today. One is GMM application do file that is goes by the name AB estimator. Okay. Name is GMM application AB estimator, and second one is the workshop data. Okay. And in the workshop data, there are two sheets, one with the ear dummies, one without the ear dummies. I actually wanted you to learn how to generate ear dummies. So we will first be using the ear dummies, and then we can, for our final estimation, we can use the file with ear dummies, which I have already generated for you. So I am now taking the queries one by one. And if any one of you has any query also, so first I can take the queries from yesterday's session, and today we can move on after that. So one person is asking what type of data or title is relevant for using the GMM model. What type of data? So I have told it again and again, when your n is greater than t and your model has either, okay, you say only do file is in the email. I have also shared data file. Okay. Shirin is sending you an email. You can get it from your email inbox. So please check it. Okay. Uh, and second thing is that title, any title. Like if you are talking about dynamic processes in your model, you can really talk about dynamic process. If you are saying like persistence, for example, somebody talking about profit persistence, so they can start their title like profit persistent and what is determining it or anything like that. But you can also use in your title, because I have seen it in many people using a GMM approach. Okay. It makes easier also for your search engine optimization when your paper is published. Somebody is asking if t is equal to 3 years and n is equal to 50, can we estimate, can we use GMM? Yes, of course, you can. What are other type of dynamic panel models like 2SLS, IV? Okay. I did not, there are other models also like IV. Okay, but GMM is advanced version of IV. So, and I did not talk about IV because this workshop is basically targeting GMM application. So yes, that is why. But if you want, we can someday talk about that also. Could you please share the recording, because I was not able to listen properly. I think recordings are already shared with you. Any comment on
Yes,
using
ma'am.
R for system GMM? R, of course, you can use. You have to write the codes for R. Okay. But this workshop, we were focusing on Stata. Okay. R is where you have to write first the codes and then you can run. I'm having an index as my dependent variable, and I'm having an independent variable, another for control. Okay. How to decide whether the variable is endogenous, when to go for either type of GMM. So first thing is that you need to apply GMM first, okay? And then for to knowing whether endogeneity is there with respect to your variables, you have to run Hoshman test for endogeneity, that we are going to do today. And also I will tell you, first we will start with, running the GMM model in Stata, and then we are going to talk about how to interpret those different tests. Okay. So first part is going to be running the model. And in the later part, I am going to talk about how to interpret it and how to properly report it in your paper. So yes. Is it necessary to always use included lag dependent variable in internal instrument? No, not always necessary, because some model structure like linear DPD estimation, they have it built in, but they don't show its result. Okay. While working with panel data, is there a problem of autocorrelation and heterozygotes? Okay. Okay, so whosoever has asked this question, I know they are already clear about it. When you have the panel data, there can be a problem of autocorrelation, heterozygosity, even multicollinearity, that you have not mentioned it. But when we do GMM, multicollinearity is already taken care of, because GMM do not run with any collinear variables. They just start dropping it. Okay. And then for autocorrelation and heterozygosity, basically, if you go with the robust error estimation, this problem is also solved. Okay. And that is why in yesterday's lecture, first I talked about why researchers says or mentions or talks about if you have these kind of problem, you can just go and straight away apply GMM. So I have told you that is not the case. Only when you have dynamic processes, because there are other ways also to deal with the problem of autocorrelation and heterozygosity. But if you are, wondering about if you have a problem of autocorrelation and heterozygosity in your data and you are going to apply GMM, what to do? It's not nothing to worry about. GMM automatically takes care of it when you apply robust standard error, only then. Okay. Okay, log file I'm going to talk about. What GMM, why GMM cannot be used in the case of limited dependent variable. GMM for sure can be used in the case of limited dependent variable model. Okay, it's not like we cannot use GMM in that case. But that GMM is an alternative application. Okay, for example, if you are applying Tobit or Probit, so there are version of it, Tobit GMM or Probit GMM. Okay, but it's not readily available in Stata. For that, we need to really go into the advanced estimation methods, and you should be knowing how to use your commands to write your own program. And there might be there are papers which talks about it, how to tackle it, but there is no ready software installation in Stata for that. Okay, so I was also about to say, after going through your queries, like GMM Probit, GMM Tobit, if you ask me, and also I haven't talked about it yet, but GMM is a short run estimation. But if like somebody also want to check for long run estimation in GMM, there are ways to it. Okay, but those are really beyond the scope of today's workshop. GMM is in itself is a very complicated model, and if we just touch upon something, okay, and leave, so it might result to more biases in your mind and interpretation than solving it. So for that, you actually need an advanced GMM session. So like if you are interested, we can maybe have it later on. you can let ServiceSetu people know about it, but there are ways. Okay, it's not like there are not the ways. Ways are there, but those ways are complicated, and you need to build your own program for it. Okay, test to check endogeneity, post estimation diagnostic test. Yes, we are going to do it today. Kindly the process of making log file. I already told you. If deciding when deciding if n is greater than t, do we need to consider only cross section or cross section multiplied by variables? Yes. If you are deciding if your n is greater than t, you decide only about cross sections. For example, you have 50 forms in your data, that makes your n is equal to 50 here. And you are taking your, you are analyzing your data, let's say for 20 years. So your n is 60, your t is 20, which makes your n already greater than T. Okay. Now moving to the next question. You really don't need to check causality test for GMM. Okay. We are going to talk about many questions also which you have asked in today's session. So I'm not taking it there, not to waste much of the time, because we anyway are going to discuss those questions. Okay, because I see few people are asking about test for endogeneity, test for serial correlation. Nobody asked for test for over identification. I'm surprised at that, but we are going to talk about how to apply all three of these tests. And also in the slides for today, I have made like a very simplified version of how to interpret all these results from these three tests. Okay, so it will be easy for you. Now, I also see that some of you are asking question in the comments. So I'll go with those comments one by one. But where to access those comments? Okay, it's in the chat. In chat, I see only one comment, but there were, I think, a lot many comments which were coming. So where do I need to check for it?
Yes, ma'am.
Shirin, there were like a few comments were popping up on the screen. Okay.
Yes, ma'am. It will be in the
But,
chat box. Ma'am,
but
actually, there is one problem which I think the people are facing. The do file is not getting downloaded. So if
do
it is
file is
possible,
not
can
getting
you share?
downloaded. Do
Yes,
file
yes.
may be getting downloaded with you people, but I'll tell you, it might not be possible for you to access that do file. Okay, for that you really have to have, I'm telling you about it, you really have to have a standard version of Stata. Even in my Stata, I can make the do file but not open it. Okay, and I already have a licensed version.
Yes,
So
yes,
that may
ma'am.
be the problem with you. But if like you do files are really there, I'll show you how to open it. If it opens with you, it's okay. And if it doesn't open, then what can I do is basically today we will all record the commands in the log file, and I'll also share the log file with you. Do file we have
Yeah,
already shared. Okay.
yes, ma'am. Because we are also unable to download in our laptop to share here. So maybe that is the problem. And can the session go without that do file if we'll share it later? Is it
This
possible?
session can really go without do file, but
Okay.
yes, I'll tackle it. Don't worry. We will do it with the help of, let's say, uh, in any case, do file I have made for you people so that later on you can visit the do file. And if like you are missing anything, you can copy command from there. Okay. You can also run the do file. Of course, I cannot run it with my software, but it is possible to do run a do file. But what we are going to do today to make it simple, we will start, estimating these models by drop-down menus. Okay,
Okay, okay.
and those are
So
the
yes,
same
ma'am.
command for do file. It will be easier for each one of you, easier understanding than the do file.
Okay,
Okay, but do file, if
okay.
you have if you are not able to download or any problem like that, do not worry. I'll try to make it in a log file and share it with you. Do file I have already shared, but if it's not
Okay.
working, the DTA format in you, so it's a
Yeah.
problem of software. Okay. I really
Okay.
cannot
Okay.
do anything about it from here. Okay.
Okay.
Log file
So
I'll
no problem.
provide.
We'll
Okay,
just
fine.
check the methods. So you just let us know how we can work actually on Stata. And then
Okay.
till then we will work on getting the file, and then we can have questions also.
Yes. And also,
Just in-
maybe what we can do, sometimes I know that you people have you are a lot curious about knowing about things, but maybe when we are doing one thing, and I'll post, okay, at various points of time, because we are doing hands-on training, and ask you, but sometimes the question in your mind, it's also in my mind, and I will be answering it in 3-4 minutes already without you
yes,
asking, so you can wait
exactly.
for that.
Yes, yes, ma'am. We'll take a question later on.
Yes.
So we will start the
Yes.
working on Stata. Yeah. Okay.
I'm just quickly checking if there's some question that we should really talk about.
Yes, ma'am. Few are like asking for a good book, which can be referred for this panel data. If you can refer
Yes,
something.
a few people are asking. I got a good book on panel data. Okay, I have seen those comments. Nobody's asking for GMM estimation, but panel data people are really asking. But even if you are interested in GMM, I'm telling you, uh, those 5 papers which I have mentioned in yesterday's PPT, please
Okay.
download it. If you are going to apply GMM, you have to go through those papers. You know, it's mandatory. And other than that, why I so much emphasize on using a stat, I'm telling you, because like I have told you about very powerful command, that is help command. I'll show you today also how to use it. And also Stata has forums, okay, many forums. I have also used those forums in past. So, and I also use it now. Okay. So like if you are estimating something, you have any question, you are not sure how to do it in Stata, you can really post your question on forum, and there are people who answer it. Okay. In the past, I have received answer. In the present, I try to answer it. Okay. So yeah.
Let's
And instrumental variable, endogenous variable, exogenous variable, all these things, people, coming from your theoretical background, not from GMM methodology, not from, let's say, Stata. It has to come from your conceptual framework, and you know your conceptual framework. Okay. And Mir, I have answered your question about, okay, you are asking, can we run Tobit and Probit model in a Stata when we are having panel data? Yes, of course, you can run Tobit, Probit, any model in a Stata. When I start, for those people who are really curious about it, I'll show you where these models are. And later on, when you are free, you already have license for 6 more days, you can experiment with it. Cross-section dependence. Cross-section dependence is also beyond the, beyond the approach of this workshop. But yes, cross-section dependence can also be handled. Okay. Not with the, but that is another approach. Okay. If like you really want to know about it, I do have few resources on that. You can write me an email, Sakshi, I'll provide you those. Any good textbook on panel data analysis? Yes, like Baltagi's book is good. And also, I personally like one book. I prefer that book over other book, if you ask me, because it's very user friendly. So there are books you can note down its name. Okay, so there are book by Cameron and Trivedi. Okay, it talks about microeconometrics. So the book is named Microeconometrics by Cameron and Trivedi, and this book is in the set of 2 books. One is Microeconometrics by Cameron and Trivedi. The other book is Microeconometrics using Stata by Cameron and Trivedi. If you read these 2 books together, it actually help you to learn Stata, because one book is on Stata only, and also to understand panel data. But if you ask me, okay, if you are going for any advanced application, you really have to work through research papers. Okay, there are not like books available really on GMM and all, but there are research paper available on that. If T is greater than N, you cannot apply GMM. What about the theoretical framework of GMM and how to present it in a research paper? Theoretical framework of GMM is like any other theoretical framework. Any paper that you start writing on regression, it works in the similar manner. We even do not really talk about persistence and dynamic process in that framework. But when you talk about dependent variable, there only you write 3-4 lines about why you are going for a lag dependent variable in your model. But where it will be tackled, I'm telling you, not in the theoretical framework section, but in the, or maybe you can say it is a part of theoretical framework where you give your equations. Okay, there you will talk about it. I think I have taken all the questions. Somebody saying, why don't we take the question at the last? But these questions I thought is from yesterday's session. So first, let's solve these and then we move to today's session. Is it mandatory to do a diagnostic test? Yes. ARTM model is also auto-regressive model. Okay, many people use it. But in the case of panel data, it's more advisable if you have dynamic process to talk about GMM model. So I think now the questions are repeating. Okay. So how to calculate N? It's very easy. You know your N, it's coming from ID. Okay. Now, I think I would like to move forward with the estimate. So if you have, like, when we are running and you are having any problem with running it, just you can let me know in comments and all. But if you have any problem with interpretation and result, I'll take it in the later half of it. Okay. So can you see the screen? You are seeing the screen already. So first command that I'm using is clear. Okay. So whenever you run the Stata or you have used anything, so first you have to use clear command so that it erases all the, data from the memory and you can use the new data. So now if you see, so clear is that, but few of you were asking about log, and I also want to make a log of today's session. So yes, I'll start with it and share this log with you in the end. But all of you also start please making your log files, okay? So that you can match the log file with your log file if you have missed anything. So we go to the file menu, log, begin, okay? I'm going to save it on my desktop. I have told you yesterday, repeating it again today. If you are saving log file, please save it as .log. Okay, it will be easier for you to understand it. So I already have one log file that I shared with you yesterday, workshop 11. Let's name it workshop 12. Okay, so this is the file. We have started it. And people, I will tell you later also, but also remember one thing, whenever you start a log file, okay, to really save your command at the end of the session, please close your log file. If you don't close your log file, all your commands are lost from there. Okay, close command works like saving. Okay, so log command, I believe, is clear to all of you. Is it? Just press your thumbs up. Okay, fine. Now let's import our file. Okay, so I have few files here. Start opening your file. I have my file in the download, so I am getting it from there. So there are two files there. If you see, two sheets there. One is without ear dummies, with ear dummies. I'm going to take without ear dummies because so that I can tell you how to calculate your ear dummies if you need it. Okay. So import first row as variable names, and we have this data. Now you already know what we have to do first. Declare our panel data to be a data set, and command for it is xtset Then we sort it by id. Id is here, year is here. Okay, you can select your variables from variables menu, no need to type it. So we have done it. Now let's see what are our variables. I use the command sum again. So our variables are here. Okay, you can, and this model may not be theoretically sound. So our results might not be what you expect them to be. Okay, because I have shared data with you. So I'm taking a different framework here because that data I'm already working on the correct framework. But you will be able to, understand what this model is about and how to interpret the results in using Stata and GMM. So now you have done summarize command. So first thing, please, when you open the Stata, first open the log file, then you import your file. Never open it because open only opens a Stata file which you have stored in it. Always import. Okay, then because it's a panel data, you have to use xtset id here to declare your data to be panel data. But if you don't declare it, if you miss this command, what happens? If you don't use this command, you will not be able to run any panel data estimation on it. Okay, it will always return to you with error. Then I told you can use sum and see your results. Now just let me take 5 minutes to tell you about these drop down menus, how they work. Okay, because few questions were also talking about it. So yes, this is file. I told you can use it for making a log file, importing any data, even exporting any data. If you have stored any data in Stata, you can also use export. But I generally do copy paste from the data browser. Okay, because it's easier that way. Now, and also if you have this, it also show you the recent files. Okay, then there is the edit one. Okay, which helps you to clearing the result window and all. May not be very much applicable in your case, but if you have really large results and you want to clear it, because it takes time for Stata to load your result, you can use these commands to abort any command that you are using. You can also abort from here as well. This kind of situation will come when you will start running heavy regressions, or maybe you are using, let's say, you are using any bootstrapping or jackknifing method, because in that case it takes a lot of time to estimate those. Sometimes you just want to abort it. Then we have data, very important for you. Okay, data is described data. Described data, you can really describe data, list your variables, see the summary statistics. We use the summary command here, but you can do it from here also, selecting your variables. Because when I use summary, I used it automatically did it for all the variables. But let's say I only want to know about ROCE. Okay, so I select ROCE. So we have a standard display. I can do it. It is just telling me about ROCE. The full command for sum is summarize. It's summarizing your variable or data, depending upon what you choose. Then you have data editor. Data editor you can use to edit your data here. You can edit any data value, okay, from here. Or you can also use it to browse your data. Sometimes we need to browse our data. For example, if we have run some command here and we want to copy that newly created variable to our Excel sheet, because you will always need your Excel sheet later in time. So you can copy it from here after opening this browse window. Okay, here. You also see the command here, create new variable extended, change contents of variable. Okay, drop or keep observation. You can use any of these. Okay, try to use it. Otherwise, what we use, we generally write the command, generate, replace. Those are the commands for it. Okay, but you can do it from here also. This is your variable manager to manage any variable that you have. So these sort command that sort your data. You can also, when you become, pro with the Stata, you can combine two data sets. You don't need to do it yourself. Stata do it very nicely when you tell it what to do, and it takes just 1 minute to do it. Okay. Then there is meta language, which actually Stata is using these days. Okay. But if you want to go to adult language, you can do it. Okay. Otherwise, the default option is the meta. You have graphics. I have shown it to you yesterday also, but you can use any graph chart. You have to collect. I have shown you yesterday, but let's do it today also. Like I told you, if you take fit plot, okay, and let's say I take my dependent variable and I want to see its relationship with any variable. Okay, I don't know what kind of relationship it is going to be, but let's see. Okay, I don't use any option here, just the default one. Submit. This plotting of graphs you may need. That is why I'm showing it to you. Okay. So see, what we use from drop-down menu also gives us a command here. Okay. You see, is automatically here. Either you can type the command or you can use it from drop-down menu. It does not make any difference. So what we have got? Okay. So on the y-axis is basically return on capital employed, which we have used. Here is operating efficiency. And what we see is their relation. Okay. You can explain it. And what it helps you to understand what really is the relationship, because see, estimates, they just give you magnitude, significance and all. They just don't know what was the relation at any point of time. So you can see it here. Okay. And if like your estimates are not telling you what you need to know, or you want to go in detail, you can really see it from here and report it in your results. You might not see these kind of graphs many times in the paper, but people use it. I also use it, may not just use it to show in the paper, but for my own understanding, and then use it to write my interpretation. Okay. But if you see, there are plain graphs like Excel, bar chart, dot chart, pie chart, anything. You can do it here also. You don't need to go back to Excel anytime. But there are panel data line plots, which you can use by after applying any panel model. Okay. Time series graphs and all. So I suggest when you are free, please try to explore these options. Okay. Now, what is useful for us is basically statistics. But before we get into statistics, just a minute. Let's see other commands. So these are the user window. It shows you about your data if you are putting any command or graphics or statistics. Okay, if you store it in a Stata, it will show you for the recent session. Windows are, see, here in front of you, you see 3 windows open in a Stata. One window is command window. It gives you the command. It's really easy if you have to use some command that you have previously used. And why will you use it? I am telling you. Sometimes when you are trying to just understand keeping and dropping variable, or maybe your some test is giving you that your model is not valid, you want to change it. So you can do it again and again by using command window. Just simply click it. Let's say this, I want to not use OI. Okay. I just delete it, run it now. Okay. You can click it here. It will be here. Change it here. It will work fine. Okay. So this command window is important. This window that you see, the main window, is called the result window. And then you have your variable window. Okay. These are 3 by default open. If you want to close any, you can except for the result window. But there are others also. Let's say history. You can really see what you have done in the history. Okay. Like if your commands are in thousands, so you can search it from history. Then command window is not going to help you much. Variables, properties, graph, data editor, do file editor. Okay, I'll come back to the do file editor also. This is help. I have told you about help. See what is here? PDF documentation. PDF documentation on what? Everything. Let's search it for what is, let's say whatever is bothering you. Let's search that. Surgeon. So you can see now. Okay. I just search for sergeant command and it's telling me how to do it with IV regress, how to do it in extra bond, how to do it in XTDPD. Okay, and if I click on any of it, you will understand how does this help you. So it's automatically telling you it's a post estimation tool for extra bond. Okay, command is basically E state abond, E state sargon, with both the commands we are going to use today. But if you click on it and you really want to know what this command is about, it's written, it's Sargent test of over identifying restriction. But you really want to know what Sargent tests do. You don't know about anything about it. Click here. It is telling you very beautifully. Test for autocorrelation work like this. It's for over identifying restriction, sorry. Menu is here. Okay. It's also telling you about other commands like abond, what it is doing, options for e-state abond, remarks. Okay, it is automatically telling you what you have in your mind. After the one step estimator, you can compute only when VCE robust is specified. Okay, sometimes you have those kind of errors that it's not computing. You can really run the help command and it will help you. Okay, now I go back. Anything you want to know about how to run, you can always click, it will show you how to run. Okay, so Stata in that way is a very powerful resource, if you ask me. Even if you don't know anything, you know how to open the Stata, you can really do anything. And then it's telling us about advice, content, announcement, resources, training, everything is here. Also, you can keep on checking for the updates. Okay. And one thing I have told you yesterday, but maybe you didn't get it, I'm repeating it again today. So sometimes there are commands for different things, but it's not in your version. Some people were asking question about it. So you can really search it through help command. It will show you where it is and show you the option for installation. You can install it. It take hardly a minute and it will be available in your Stata. Maybe not through these drop-down menus, but only through the command. But you can use it that way. Okay. Now I'm moving from help to statistics. Okay. So in a statistics, you see there are summarized, everything is here, but I just go where we need to be, that is panel data. Okay. So panel data, let's say dynamic panel data. So you see in dynamic panel data, there are three options available to us. One is Arellano bond, then we have Arellano-Bauer or Blundell bond, and linear DPD estimation. Linear DPD estimation where we use, I will tell you, but in the later part. Okay, first we are only understanding how to use it. So Arellano bond, as you already know, is basically difference estimation. This is your system estimation. This is your linear DPD. Okay, so first starting with the most popular one. Most popular one is basically not Arellano bond, it's Arellano-Bauer, but we generally use it after Arellano bond. So Arellano bond estimation. Can you see the window now? Can you see window? All of you can see the window. Okay, fine. Yes. Okay, but you cannot see the do file. I'll show you how do file look like. First thing is that do file. Okay. See, if you see here, there is an notepad kind of icon. You click here, it's giving you new do file editor. You can write your own do file. Okay, you don't need my do file. So if I click here on new do file editor, in mine it's already open. That is why it is not opening. It is here. Okay. So it gives me new do file, which I can make, but I'm not going to make it. This one is one that I have shared with you, GMM application AB estimator. Okay. You see it here. So it has all the commands for running. I'll keep them in one file somewhere so that you can access them. But it has all the commands to run these two models and also what to say, your post estimation test. Okay. So the do file was really helpful for you. I'll see how to give it to you in a proper format, but the do file is here. Okay, I can open it. But maybe you are using the wrong option. You know, you have to open your do file from here, not from there. You click, maybe you, just a minute. Please, if you are not able to open your do file, try to open it from Stata. Maybe you are opening your do file without a Stata. It does not work in that way. Okay. Come back on the Stata now. Click this icon. It's giving you this, which I have already given you. Okay. And maybe you don't click it because it's for creating new file. But you go here in the file option. Open your do file. Like this is a do file here. Let me open it for you. I haven't created it, but it's a do file. Can you see? This is how you actually open a do file. Do this process, take 2 minutes, then send me your thumbs up so that I know you are able to open the do file. All of you, please do this thing. Otherwise, you will always be confused about do file. So I see all of you are able to open it. Okay. Nice. Why didn't I tell you before about it? Because you will not be able to understand. So do file you always open from here. And also if you have to write do file, you open it, click on a new one. Okay. File new. It's giving you a new sheet. You can write the command. Okay. If I show you this do file, you can see it. Okay. There are 2-3 ways of making a do file. Let's say I started from here. So we have some command here. Okay. Let me show you how it works so that you can make it later for yourself. So first thing that we are going to do is like we are going to import there is no need to write the description, but I'm going to write the description so that you understand what you are doing. Import database. Okay. And now what is the command for it? You go, this is the command that we have used. Click this command, copy it, put it in your do file. Okay, done. I want a second command for, let's say, sorting our panel data, but you cannot really sort your panel data before declaring it to be a panel data set. Declare the data set to be panel. So I am writing the description. And if you are also new to Stata, please write your description in your do file. Otherwise, you will forget what the command is all about. But then you will be clear if you have written the description. And you can write anything, because when you put the asterisk before it, Stata is not going to run that thing. So that is for your description. It will only run the command, but not your description. Okay. So it is here. Again, I have to write something. What is there? I want to use something very important, but let's say I want to summarize my data. I write sum. Okay. So this way you can create your do file yourself. I hope this is clear to you. And when you leave your do file, it's also very important as creating it, to close your do file. If you don't save it, it's not saved. I'm doing the option save. I go to desktop. We save it. Let's say I just give it any random name, 211, and I saved it. Okay. Now just repeat this exercise. Open your do file from there, which you have created. It's already open. It will not open. First thing is that you have to close it. And let's say now we have to open it. Open do file. Go back to the location. Backup. In mine, we need a backup, but it's here. Okay. So all of you, are you able to do your do files? Open it, create it, save it, open it. Good. Now, so do file is here in front of us. I hope that you were also able to open this do file, okay, which I have here. Let's say I have to generate year dummies. There are different ways to generate year dummies. If you ask me, you can generate it by using generate command. Okay, I'll show you how generate command works for you, because it's also important for you, even if you are not generating the year dummies by it. Let's say I want to create some logged version of any variable. How do I do it? I want to choose this variable. Okay, I just say, just for my understanding, log R&D is equal to log. It has created. Let's see what it has created in the browser. We are not going to use this variable. I'll just try to show you how you can use anything. Okay, so it's here, log R&D. You want to create a lag variable this way, you can do it. N-1 is the command for it. And also you were asking for the book, I told you the name, but both the books, and I think particularly Cameroon and Trivedi by Stata, is all available online free. Okay, you can download the PDF and see. So generate you can use for anything. Generate we can also use for calculating the year dummy. If we really have only one year dummy, but if you have to create it for all your, you know, all your variables, you can just use this command. Let me copy it from here to save time. I say tabulate year, generate dummy. So we can run it. But if we don't run it this way, we can, these are two commands. See, that is why first we are saying tabulate year, then we are saying comma, gen, done. And year is here. That is why I'm using year. If you have given it some other name, let's say month, or maybe your caps lock is not on, select that only. Okay, it works in that way. So I just select and do create dummy for all the variables. So it has already created dummy for me and tabulating also. Let's see what are our dummies now. Data editor browse. Okay, you have nicely go get the dummy for all the variables. Okay, so whenever you have to calculate any dummy for year or for any categories also, you need to just specify it. You can use it by tabulate. It saves your time. You don't need to run 10 commands. Okay, and think about different syntax. Just tabulate year, gen dummy. You have got your dummies. Now, what else we need to do is, let's start with the AB estimator then. Okay, so first I'll show you how to do it through the drop down menu. Okay, then you can also see it from the file. So dynamic panel data. First you go to statistics, select panel data, dynamic panel data, and nanobond estimation. It gives you a window which is already open in my system. Yes. So you see now. Okay, it is telling you your dependent variable. I have chosen it as ROCE. Okay, which might not be a very solid one depending on the conceptual framework, because I did not create any conceptual framework. It's just my purpose to show you how it works. Okay, so do not get disheartened if you think results are not coming our way. Okay, so I have selected few variables as independent variables. You will select as per your framework. Okay, then if you see number of lakhs of dependent variable, already it's taking one, but you can say 2, 3. Okay, if you have any additional instrumental variable which you think is necessary for you, see, there is one thing. If you don't think instrumental variable is necessary for you, do not take it, because it also make your result more biased if it is not really required. Okay, so choose your instrumental variable carefully. Now let's say we want some predetermined variable. Let's take one variable which we have not used it. LT I have selected. Then we give endogenous. Endogenous we know which one. It can be anyone, but I'm just taking ROC is going to be endogenous one. Okay. Or let me select one more variable. Let's say DE. Okay. You can use this also. Default standard errors are not robust. If you need robust error, because it will give you results which are autocorrelation and heteroscedasticity consistent, you can select the option robust. But sometimes you really need to choose first this option to run your diagnostic test. Some diagnostic tests work with robust, some work with default standard error. So keep on selecting, choosing, and running it. Okay. Reporting. We are trying to report it at 95 confidence level. Okay. and AR test. Okay, for your auto rank correlation, we are taking 2 level. You can choose 1 or 2, but 2 is generally preferred. Now I submit it, everything, and we get it. Okay, please run this command now. I'll wait for it and let me know when your command is giving you result, and go through your table once. Then I'm giving you 2-3 minutes for it, and let's then see. Repeat the process. I'll repeat the process. There is no problem. But first, let us run it. Those who can run. Okay, many of you are saying repeat it. Okay, let me just wait for 2-3 minutes. Maybe somebody will be able to run, but I'll repeat it. No problem about it. So people has started getting the result already. Any one of you who is able to do it, please send me your thumbs up. So yes, many people were able to run it, but few people were saying to repeat it. So let me repeat it once. How will we select the number of legs? You will select the number of legs on the basis of your prior theory. It is a priori. Okay, it's not coming from your variable. People understand one thing: instrumental variable, which one to select, which one is exogenous variable, which one is endogenous variable. It's not coming from the model. Model may tell you that you have selected wrong one, but it's not going to tell you which one to select. It comes from your theory. So maybe you need to first brush up the theory for it, then make your conceptual framework keeping in mind those theoretical understanding. And I already told you, you should in your free time really try to read the papers that I have mentioned to you, and it will tell you how do you get on that theoretical understanding. Okay, so it's coming from the theory, not from the model. That is my answer for it. Now still some people need, you know to run it again. Just tell me, otherwise I think all the people have got the result. Anyone who needs me to repeat? Okay, okay. Sure, I'll repeat it. No problem. So let's just repeat it. The statistics, panel data, dynamic panel data, and nanobond. I have told you it's your difference estimator. Okay, I'm selecting any random variables if you ask me. I have told you before as well. Okay, so I have selected ROCE, RD, XOI, though I did not selected ear dummies. Let us select ear dummies also. That is why we have given them here. Just let me put them at the end so that it will have better visibility. So we select all the ear dummies also. Okay, you can have ear dummies by default as your instrumental variables as well. Okay, or predetermined. So I have selected many year dummies, and whatever will be collinear, Stata will automatically drop it. So you really don't need to run your VIF command here. Okay. If I have some additional instrument variable, let's say think my R&D is going to be instrumental variable. Maybe it is, maybe not. And if you have any confusion about number of year in lab, you can by default go with 1. Okay. Because it will give you the dynamic process, but not historical process. 1 is also good. So it is here. I'm going with the default standard error, or if you want, we can choose robust now. Okay. Submit. If you do okay or submit, any way it runs. Okay. So now it is here. In front of you are the results. Please run it. Let me know. Then we move ahead. Just let me know when you are able to run. I'll just keep it okay. People are able to run. Okay. What was there in the predetermined section? Let's see it again. But I told you, you can choose any random variable. Doesn't make much difference. Okay. Because I'm just using it for I have chosen LTA, and LTA I have not put it here. Okay. What you choose there in the predetermined section, it goes there, not in the independent section. Okay. That is one thing you should be clear about it. Your predetermined variable, you don't choose it as an independent variable. It works as an independent variable, but in another sense, in the sense of IV variable. Okay. So now you have the results here, and you don't see any, if you notice it here, probability and world chi-square, because our model, I told you, is not rightly specified. But otherwise, you need to have it in the range of zeros so that you can say that your model is valid. Okay, I'll show you those examples. Don't worry for it. I have to tell you many things about these things. Now, are we all on the same page? Can we move to system estimation now or not? Okay, fine. Yes, predetermined variables are your control variables. Yes, I have, Aniruddha, I have explained yesterday also, if you have seen the slides, AB estimator is your difference estimator. Blundell bond is your system estimator. Okay, so now we will see. First, what I want to do is to show you how to run other models like system estimator and linear DPD. Then I will run this model again, run the diagnostic test for you. Okay, and then we go back and start our second part, that is about reporting our results and how to interpret, your values of diagnostic test. Okay. So one thing you have noticed, I hope you have noticed by now, that you really don't, need to know the commands. You can do it from here also. Okay. So I go here. This one I'm repeating again is difference estimation. This one is system estimation. Okay. So let's choose the first as ROCE, which is return on capital employed. Start choosing your variables. You can choose anyone. Okay, I'm just randomly choosing. And yes, one thing that we haven't done before, but we are going to do it here. So I have told you two-step estimator is more efficient than one-step estimator. But if we have to use two-step, how to use it? Just click it here. Compute two-step estimator instead of one step. Okay. You don't need any further command for it. It will do it for you. Okay. Let's say predetermined. I again choose LTA. Okay. And also ROC. You can type also. I say 3 legs, okay. But I'm saying maximum legs to include is, let me select it here, are 2. Okay, so it will show you 2, but it will use 3. So you may have the question in mind, ki how will it work? It will work for the, model structure, but the result you will have for 3, but the model structure will work for 2. So your estimators will be different than if you don't, check this box. Endogenous one is basically ROC. We should not choose ROC here. Otherwise, yes. Here I choose ROC as in our endogenous variable. We can choose some other variables as well, but you should know which variable to choose on the basis of your theory. Okay. Now you already know it's giving you default standard error, but Stata is also saying the default method is basically this method, generalized method of movements, but they are giving 2 options because default is always the default option is anyway available in all the Stata commands. Okay, that is why you have to choose robust, use robust. If you have to run some tests that do not acknowledge robust, because see, if some test is also calculating autocorrelation, it would like you to not choose robust, okay, because robust is already giving you the errors which are consistent with autocorrelation. So depending on that, okay. Now I submit. So it is telling me we cannot really estimate 2-step estimator. So you understand one thing I have told you. Sometimes we don't need to know about many things. Stata also tells us about. I run this simple command. Okay. It is telling me this is collinearity in this variable. It has already dropped it. It is also telling us that 2-step estimator is not a full rank. So we can really use 1-step estimator. So we can go back and run this command again. Okay. But it can again give us error term because I told you we really don't know about our model structure. Okay, let me try it. See, it told us that 2-step is not advisable in our case, not available, because our variance matrix need correct coverage. So what we can do, just simply tell Stata to compute 1-step estimator and you have the results here. Okay, were all of you was able to do it? System estimator. So okay. The last one, the DPD estimation, which we use in a very particular case. Most of the time, you will see people using either Eldano bond or system, either difference estimator or system estimator. You already know there are both has both options of 1-step estimator, 2-step estimator. So you already by now know 4 variants of GMM model. Okay, you have done it already in front of let's say what is the third one. Let's just run it and then go back to understanding what is it all about. Okay, DPD estimation. You can select any, not any, I'm just selecting dependent variable because I told you the model is misspecified, but in my opinion also these variable can give us some results. Okay, it also tells us about difference equation. Now you need to tell it what is going to be your difference, and at least you need one GMM type instrument. So let's say I say ROCE is my GMM instrument. Okay, I can give more also, and let's say we just do a simple robust and run it. So now you have the results for this. Okay, but it is telling us that our model is not significant. If you see in front of you, the value of probability is greater than chi2 and this, which I was very sure about, it is not going to be relevant in our case. And that is why in many papers you will see this doesn't work. When it works and when you should go for it, I'll tell you. Okay, now let's also run one more thing that we have not run till yet, is basically our diagnostic tests. Okay, so if you go back to do file, okay, please open your do file. Let's see, are you able to read it? So first thing is that I'm going to show that all the commands are here. Importing data from Excel, you see it here. Declaring data as panel data set, then creating year dummies. I don't know why I have done it twice, but it's the one command only. You can edit your do file also like this. Then I am telling you AB estimator two step. It is the command for that. AB step, AB estimator two step with robust standard errors. Then your see the same command. I'm just doing one step, two step, one step with robust standard error. Then we have to, I have done also, you see here the store, the estimate, something like that. We are doing it to running our test for over identification. We use this command and then run our sergeant test. Okay, I will show you how to run it. Then is our e-state sergeant command. I have also written for you here so that if you are confused about what we do by sergeant test, so you can read it here. The sergeant test or test of over identifying restriction, check the validity of instrument used in instrumental variable model. As I have told you again and again, instrumental variable come from your theoretical understanding. Whether it is valid or not, you can check it by sergeant command. Okay. And here it is also written for you. A significant p-value indicates that valid instrument is rejected. Okay. So what should be really we should be looking for? An insignificant p-value in this case. Okay. Then I have given you, we are going to run for a Lano bond test for zero autocorrelation in first difference error, that is E-state a bond. Then we are going to run, these are the three tests that you really need. Horstman test for endogeneity. Okay. So, yes, this is Horstman test for endogeneity. Okay. Now, let me run these diagnostic tests for you. Okay. Then I'll show you how to interpret your results. Okay. Quickly, taking not much time. Yes. I'll just copy the commands from here now. Okay, and these commands also are not available through the drop down menu, so we do it from here. Okay, let's just run first command and then we can go to, I'm going to pick the commands from here. Okay, so I'm going to show you it in one case, but you can also run it, these commands, in both the cases. The command is same. Okay, let's say extra bond ROC, I'm going to run it. I copy it, paste it, run it. So now we have our estimates. And I want now to check for the post diagnostics. Okay. So first I'm going with test for over identification. This is your one command that you need to know for instrumental variable. This command is going to store your instrumental variable here. Okay. This command is wrong. Why so? Because the command is store, not stores. Okay. So yes, you also need to correct it in your do file. It's a store, not a store. Let me run it and see it. So it has already run. Okay. Now I'm going to run sergeant test. Sorry. So it is here. You have not got any value because I told you our model is misspecified. Otherwise, okay, we did not get any value, not because our model is misspecified. We did not get it because it's telling us it does not work with robust. So let's run it without robust first. Okay, I just remove the robust option from here. Okay, run it, then select this, then this. Let's see. Now you have the value. So what is this value is telling us? It's telling us our restrictions are valid. Okay, So it means there is some problem with our model. Okay. So whenever you run your model, you can keep on changing your instrumental variable and see when you get this value in non-significant range, then your model is correct. Okay. But you will know it after post estimation only. Now let me go back to other test. है ना? That is Eldano bond test for zero autocorrelation in first difference error. So the command for it is state a bond. Okay. Now Stata is telling you it cannot be computed for one step estimator with VC GMM. So this is the problem. Okay. Some command you cannot run with this. So let's go. And what we should do, VC robust. Again, now we have the value for it. Okay. You have run. So I have told you earlier as well, sometimes you really need to calculate it without robust, because see, if you understand the logic for it, this test is for understanding zero autocorrelation in first difference errors. And what robust gives you? Autocorrelation consistent estimates. So of course it will not work with that. Okay, it's by default. Now we are going to test Hoshman test for endogeneity. So now again, let me just see. Okay, a simple model we have taken. For this one, you have to take a very simple model. Now you see, I have only taken dependent, independent variables and lag. Why so? I'll tell you. We are just taking this model because first thing is that this Hoshman test work in the way, first it will take fixed effects, then it will take random effects. And on the basis of these calculations, we will understand whether our data is endogenous or not. So this estimates we are going to now store for FE. Okay. Estimate store for FE, and the same command you have to do for random effects, RE. Okay. You can do it from here also. And now I just do Hoshman test. Okay. Earlier, the command was very simple. You just type Postman, it works. But nowadays, its syntax is changed to this. So now Hoshman test is also telling you about all the variables, okay, whether they are significant or not, okay. How to interpret it? Now we are going to move on that part. Before we move to that part, please let me know if you need to know anything before we move to interpretation of these results. This was all in running any GMM estimation, not any, but Aldano bond, difference estimator, system estimator, linear DPT model. All of you, last two tests, if you could explain again. In what sense? See, if you have understood it in terms of command, then it's okay. We are going to, I'm anyway going to explain it in the slide, their interpretation and all. Okay, but just let me know if you are able to run these commands. That is my purpose here. Then we can go. Okay. Because if you are able to run it, so many people are again saying how to select instrumental variable. I am again clarifying it for you. Please, people, make a note of it. Instrumental variable, endogenous variable, exogenous variable. It's coming from your theory or your conceptual framework. Your conceptual framework, you know yourself. If you are not sure about, it, then the problem is that you can, you have to base your conceptual framework on the basis of your prior theory, but you can really check the validity of your variables through Sargent test. Okay, it will tell you whether these are valid or not, but it's coming from your theoretical framework. Okay, year dummies are equal to n-1 for that particular year. It's that only. Okay, you can actually generate it that way also. Generate n-1, generate 2015 for n-1 2015. You will get that command. Yes. So Some people are asking for extra bond command, extra bond 2. Okay. Extra bond 2, people who are those people who are asking for exogenous, predetermined, endogenous variable, please go back and see yesterday's recording. I have already explained it there. Okay. Extra bond 2. What is the problem with that command? You have to write that command. That command is not available with the drop down option. Okay. So extra bond 2, if you have to do, I told you it's advanced GMM. Okay. You have to write everything there. And before you write, writing is very simple. I can provide you with the code and you can run it. But you need to understand what you are running. So it's beyond the scope of this session, if you ask me. If you need to understand advanced GMM options, please let us know. Okay. So people, I'm just going to the slides. Okay. Now, whatever question you are having, please keep it till the end of the session. Okay. So now, okay, these slides can help you in really understanding what you do with the sergeant test. You will see there is a lot of material, but I thought better to include a lot of material so you are clear about how does this test work, another test work. So the sergeant test basically checks the validity of instrument used in GMM model. As I'm telling you again and again, you might not know which is the instrumental variable from the model. Okay, it will come from your conceptual framework, but you can check its validity. Okay, and it will tell you if your model is over and identified, like if there are more instruments that endogenous regressors. So there is a null hypothesis like all the tests in Sargent test also. It will check their, uh, you know, instruments are uncorrelated with the error term. And how do you interpret it? If you have a really high value, then you fail to reject the null hypothesis. This means your instruments are valid. Okay, and the model is correctly specified. So if you have got this, a very high p-value, okay, so you know that your model is valid. But if your p-value is lower, then you have to reject the null hypothesis. And then you have to do what? You have to check your instrumental variable again, do some trial and error, and then you will know when your model is correctly specified. This is what this test helps you to do. Okay. Now, I hope now you are clear on Sargent test. Now let me go on the Arlano-Bond test for zero autocorrelation in the first difference error. Okay. It's basically designed to assess whether the idiosyncratic errors in the first difference data are serially correlated. Okay, so null hypothesis for both AR1, AR2 is that there is no serial autocorrelation in the first difference error. Okay. And if you reject the null hypothesis, it means that your estimator may be invalid. Okay. So you need to accept here the null hypothesis. It should be significant. Okay. Rejecting AR1, this is generally expected and does not necessarily imply model misspecification. So if you are rejecting it, then means that your model is valid. If you are failing to reject it, this might indicate that there are error term in your model and you may need to go for AR2. Okay, it works in the same way. You just write T state upon AR2, it works. Okay. Hoshman test. Hoshman test is the same test, if you ask me. It's the same one that we use for to know whether to use a fixed effect model or random effects model. Okay, this is the same Hoshman test we are using here for endogeneity. So the purpose of this test is used to determine if an estimator is consistent or if there is a systematic difference between it, so that we know whether to go for difference method or systematic method. So null hypothesis tells us that endogenous variable is actually exogenous variable, meaning it is not correlated with the error term. And the alternative hypothesis tells us that endogenous variable is correlated with the error term. So how does it work? It basically works to compress the coefficient of the endogenous variable obtained from the GMM estimator. If you run it post GMM estimation, okay? not in the way of, let's say, after OLS. Because if you run it after OLS, it works different way. If you run it after, having your extra bond commands, it works in this way. Okay. If you reject the null hypothesis here, simply, okay, is if it is below a certain significance level, then we can say there is an evidence of endogeneity. Okay. But if you are failing to reject the null hypothesis, that means it's not correlated with the error term and your system consistent estimator is sufficient. So maybe if you have a significant p-value, then it means you are rejecting the null hypothesis and your difference GMM estimation is not consistent. Difference GMM estimation is your AB estimation. Then you have to move to the system GMM model. Okay. Now, so already I have told you about these three tests and how these tests work. Okay, we know how these tests work with our command. Now we know how these tests work with our data and how to interpret it and use it. Now, the most important thing is how to interpret your GMM output. Okay, so there are a few things that we need to know before we interpret any GMM output. First thing is that, and don't worry, I'll bring the results from what we have estimated here. Okay, I'm going to use those results only. So GMM estimates are the short run estimates. Okay. You have to also give your ceteris paribus interpretation because we always assume they are something that we are keeping constant. It is advisable if you interpret only significant output. In many papers, people also, interpret insignificant output. You can do it, but if you interpret significant output, it is advisable. Then you have to watch out for instrument in test. Okay, I told you, like Sargent statistics, AR2 statistics, leg dependent variable, you have to check its p-value. It also tell you about whether your, whether your model is actually dynamic model or not. Okay, so please keep an eye on your lag dependent variable. Uh, don't mislook it. Okay, so because this will tell you, you were thinking your model has dynamic process, but whether it was having it or not, then yes. And sometimes you were asking whether do you go for 3 lag, 2 lag, 1 lag. You have to do it again and again to have know what is significant with your model. Okay, other regressors, you simply check their p-values and then what you do, you go here, interpret only significant output. Okay, there are other things also to understand the validity of your model. Your number of instruments are greater than number of groups. Okay, we will see it from the result. And if your F statistic is telling you about like it's significant, then of course your model is valid. So let's now see it. So this is coming from our what we have estimated. I have taken it from there only, the screenshot. So basically, you see your number of instrument. First thing is that let's see the number of instrument is 105. Number of observations are 721. Okay. Number of groups are 103. Okay. So what we need to have is basically number of instrument greater than number of groups. You see here, it is more than your groups. Doesn't matter if it is only 2 more, but it should always be more than that. Otherwise, you don't need to run any test. Your model is actually not valid if your number of instrument are lesser than number of groups. Okay. Now you see also your joint statistic. It's giving us the value that is very significant. So model is valid in that case also. Now I have taken the table from the same model results which we have received. Okay, and try to interpret one particular result. Let's see. And we were also talking about lagged of dependent variable. So let's see that also. See, this is first thing. If you see, just let's see the table in wholesome first, then I'll tell you what result I have used. So there are the 2 legs of dependent variable. So you also see the second one is not significant. So you can go for leg 1 only, but you can show others also. That's not a problem with it. Okay. So leg 1 here is significant. So of course there is a dynamic process in the model. Then you see there are some coefficients which are, there are some coefficients which are significant. There are some coefficients which are not significant. You can see. Okay. Now, RMI, I have chosen it because I have told you, first thing is that you have to spend some efforts on your table. I have just took a screenshot, but you have to clear your table first. Only report estimates, error, and significance. You don't need everything else. Okay. Present all results. You have to present all the results in the table. Like L2 also you have to present, whether it is significant or insignificant, doesn't matter. You report all the results that you have received as it is. Okay. But you go and interpret only significant coefficient, mention their functional form, magnitude, and significance level. This is the basic thing that you can do. Of course, because you have studied a lot of theory on your conceptual framework, you also will refer to those theories. Okay. So I have used this one for interpreting your result. Basically, it's RMI is your raw material import intensity. So I have checked its effect on firm level profitability, that is return on capital employed. So what we have got as as the determinant. Just a minute. Okay. So basically, if you see a percentage change in RMI is associated with a 1.23% decrease in profitability in the short run at 1% level of significance on average ceteris paribus. Hence, RMI negatively impacts profitability and firm may replace it with import, substituting raw material to increase profitability. Okay, so you can, interpret your significant results like this. I am sure that all of you already know this, but yes. I have also taken some examples from papers. Okay, if you see it, this is a table talking about dynamic panel analysis of bank profitability determinants. Okay, size, MSD, SLRICK, these are their variables. They have, also reported their Sargent test and Lano-Bond test values here. Okay, and then they are explaining it. Okay, a low value of this coefficient, what this one is, just a minute. They are saying, first they are telling about the endogenous variable and they are saying it's statistically significant. So it confirms the dynamic character of panel model. So I told you, when you interpret it, first thing that you see is basically your lag dependent variable. Because if it's not significant, then you may not have dynamic structure in your model. Okay. And then they say the market, okay, we can ignore the statistically insignificant model variable, but we can just focus how they are saying. They are saying size. Let's see the size here. It's significant. We see magnitude is also very high, 1.76. And then they say has a positive and significant impact on bank profitability, which is in accordance with the expectation and assumption of the existence of economies of scale in the Croatian banking market. Okay, the paper is published in a very good journal, and you see they are just explaining this much only. Now I'll move further. I have another example for you. This is basically they have reported both. So you will see in some paper, they will report both. Difference one, system two. Okay, they are reporting difference, they are reporting system. So sometimes people don't even really, not really looking for like whether system is good for them, difference is good for them. This paper is actually from Oxford Bulletin of Economics and Statistics, one of the very good paper on it. I have shared it with you all as well. You also please read it. Okay, so they are now reporting their result and also telling us about how these results are relevant for their model structure. Okay, like they say, the Hansen test of over identifying restriction does not reject the validity of instrument. Okay, so they are explaining it in the way. Paper is also available to you. I have shared it with you all. You can go and read it. You must read it, I suggest. Okay, I have taken one of my paper also here. So this is system dynamic panel model. We have three models because it's depending on our conceptual framework. So you see, in my case also, the let 3 is not sufficient for, in the case of, let's say, dependent variable. Okay, so I have explained it, how it is working, and it also proves that our model is having dynamic structure. And then I'm explaining about MAI, that see, when you report your result, you not only report your result, but you also discuss your result. So here I have also discussed this result. Okay, that is why I have taken from my paper, because the other paper I have seen, they were just reporting the result. So I'm saying the finding is consistent with existing research studies. Okay, and I'm telling about how it is consistent with the theoretical framework that we have done. So you can also do that. So that is all, I think, from my side. Now we can go to your question. Okay, just a
Abul,
minute. Yes.
yes, ma'am. Ma'am, we have two hand raised right now. So, like, how you want to take it? Should we take the hand raised one by one?
Yeah.
If you are okay, or maybe like you can take a 1 minute break. Till then, like I can announce to the participants that we have our WhatsApp group of ServiceSetu Academics. So you can join that to receive the information like very quickly. We share the information related to like faculty jobs, PhD admissions, postdoctoral conferences, workshops, call for papers, which you might need in your like research and this journey. So we want to be your lifelong partner, so that you can also like grow with us. And yes, you just the most important thing is you just save our email ID so that it should not go to the junk. I have mentioned the two email IDs which we use for communication on the chat box. Please mark it safe so that you can have our communication directly to your inbox. And yes, we are going to have our upcoming workshop. One is on structured literature review. So it will happen on 15th April. And one more will be on the editorial perspective, which is related to your publication in like APTC A-star journals. So we are going to have one editor-in-chief next month. So I hope like you will like different like our upcoming session also. We'll share the details on our LinkedIn. Do subscribe our to our LinkedIn channel so that you can have access to all the informations which we share on a real-time basis. Right. And yes, we have taken the note of all the comments as well, and we will take up the session as like for as our upcoming session, which you have suggested. And soon we will be coming up with the complete research methodology and econometrics course, which will be a kind of 5 days or like 10 days kind of workshop that will be online too. So definitely we are also working on it. Your suggestions are welcome. We will share the feedback form. Please like just share with us whatever like information you want from us, and we will definitely work on it. Right, save our mobile number. You can directly WhatsApp to us. You can reach to us. We have already got the 6 WhatsApp group. So just join our WhatsApp group to have the information. Right. So, ma'am, yeah, acha, one more information. If you need any research paper which you are unable to download, you can just like send us the DOI on our WhatsApp. We will provide you that. So just save our WhatsApp number. We will help you out in every possible way, whichever is possible. So without any like delay, I'll just hand over to. We'll just take the question one by one. And so first one, okay, someone is writing, please share contact. Yeah, we'll share everything on mail. Even here also I have shared the WhatsApp number and every details. We'll share the certificate also. Along with that, we'll mention all the things and the link to the recording of this session so that you can revisit if something is missed. Okay. So first one is, okay, Miss Rekha Kitcher. Please, Rekha ma'am, please ask your question.
Subha, you are muted. You are muted. And I
Now I
can't.
have unmute. I
Okay,
have
okay,
done the unmute option. Yeah,
okay.
for everyone, you can open your mic. So, Richa ma'am, please ask your question.
Hello, ma'am.
Yes, hello, Rika.
Am I audible, ma'am?
Yes, you are.
Ma'am, I found when we run the
You're audible, but your voice is very low. Maybe you can
okay,
be, yeah.
yeah. Ma'am, I'm saying after using Sargon test, we found
Yes.
with robust and without robust, we found similar results. Like the value of
Okay.
car and probability of chi-square value is similar.
Okay.
So what
Okay.
ma'am, what is the difference with robust and without robust?
I'll tell you. I'll tell you. With robust, without robust, it's not for Sargent test. But see, if you will get the same. If you are not having much of the problem of, let's say, autocorrelation, heteroscedasticity in your data. So if even if it is robust or not robust, doesn't make any difference to your Sargent test value. Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
Yes. Next one, please.
Yeah, ma'am. Next one is Tokita Jilani.
Hello, ma'am.
Hello, Tokita.
Am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Ma'am, can you please explain a little what are exogenous, endogenous, predetermined variables and instrument variables demanded by the model
Okay.
so that it
So,
will be
so
easy for us to.
tell me one thing before I explain it. Did you attend yesterday's session?
Yes, ma'am, I actually attended that,
Okay.
but as of now, I want you to clear it a little bit.
Okay, little bit. But I have actually, that is why, see, I have taken a theoretical session before conducting the uh, before conducting the hands-on workshop. So I have really clarified it here, but let me go again. First thing, exogenous. And exogenous creates a lot of problem because you people understand endogenous, but not exogenous most of the time. Exogenous is something that we really, we don't think. It's something that is determining our dependent variable. Okay. But we believe that this variable may impact our model estimation. May not be the direct impact, but let's say I'm going to determine intensity of R&D. I have many variables, but suddenly policy regarding, let's say, policy regarding tax subsidy on R&D, because it keeps on changing, it has changed. Okay. So that policy may impact our results. Okay. We need to really create either a dummy, or if like different firms are, receiving different kind of deductions on the basis of how much R&D they are doing, you have to make that data first. Okay. But I mean, it's not impacting my R&D intensity in the entire model, but exogenously, it's determining R&D structure in our industry or in our firms, whatever the sample I have taken. So that is our exogenous variable for you. If you ask about endogenous variable, first thing that is endogenous in, let's say, and predetermined endogenous. Okay, I'll tell you, endogenous variable, if you have to see first thing, is basically in the dynamic model is your dependent variable slack. Okay, because that is the first anyway, because it's telling you your own dependent variable depends on its slack. Okay, like for example, again going to R&D intensity, it's actually a good example. So R&D intensity, see, if we have not done any R&D, just forget the firm also. Okay, let's talk about our own example. If we have not done any research paper, it's lower probability that you will come with 3 papers in the next year, maybe with one. Okay, because maybe you are not in that mindset, maybe you are not properly trained to write a research paper. Same goes with the firm level R&D. Maybe the firm has not established a proper lab, maybe the firm has not hired the advanced scientifically skilled staff, maybe the firm do not have the patents, maybe the firm has no project in the pipeline. If the firm has it all, it will be coming from the previous years. Okay, so we already know that it is our first endogenous variable. There can be other also, I'll tell you, and then we keep it in them in the predetermined variables. For example, let's say profit. Okay, R&D is very uncertain. Okay, very risky. So it may not be advisable to fund your very risky, very uncertain, very investment with a very long gestation period with the outside debt or borrowing. You might need, as a I mean by you, as a R&D manager in one of the firm, you may need to fund it from your own profits. Okay, because you don't want to risk not paying back the debts you are having for it, because in any case we know uh, out of 10,000 molecules only one is successful. Okay, so let me say, I say profit persistence is also one of the important variable. I take it as predetermined variable, because if we have profit, we will go for R&D. If we are not having profit as a firm, why will I go for R&D? First thing is that I need to sustain that firm. But you got one thing now clear, that it's coming from your theoretical structure, not from methodology. Okay, you need to work on your theory first. So next one, please.
Yeah, next one is Simita Bose Chaudhary.
Yeah, good afternoon,
Ma'am,
ma'am.
please,
So I was the one who asked you just one thing, though you
Yes.
had shown today menu-based thing, but I had usually from the previous conferences, people usually write the commands like extabond2 or xtdpd
Yes.
GMM, right?
Yes,
So
yes.
ma'am, then like in the menu-based, we get only Sargent test, but when we write the extabond2, we also get the Hansen
Hansen test. We can have
Yes,
Hansen test. for
yeah,
sure.
because majorly people nowadays are saying after the Monte Carlo simulations, Hansen test is better in telling about the validity of instruments.
But
So-
there is, yeah, you complete your question, but I'll tell you. Yes.
Yeah, so that's what's because I don't know, I'm also a little confused because people were saying better to go for Hansen rather than Sargent test because it is, and the people were also giving some range out there. If this to this, then it is a better way of validity of the instruments.
Sure.
So just wanted to, because ma'am, as you told, it's another advanced one out there. So in your thing, ma'am, should we go for Sargent or Hansen, or I've seen papers reporting even both?
I'm coming to that point only. You can actually run both and report both. But I have shown you very good papers. They were only reporting Sargent test, if you have checked it.
Yes, yes.
Okay, so it's not, we sometimes we think a lot about many things. Okay, like I told you, that paper was reporting system and difference. But if you are reporting system, you really don't need to report difference, if you ask me. And the
Yes.
paper is very good one. Okay, so you will see, you can actually report both, doesn't matter. Extra bond 2, also, if you need to learn, I told you it's advanced because you need to write it. It's not about writing it. If you ask me, can I give you the code? You don't even need code. Okay. Simple help command. You type extra bond 2, it will tell you so many things. Even it will tell you, all of you, to support Rootman who has developed this command. The command tells you that also, Rootman space. Okay. So everything is there, syntax and everything. But if you don't understand, I'm telling you why I say it is advanced. If you don't understand what basically we mean by orthogonal deviation in the extra bond 2 command, you will not be able to interpret it correctly. So it's not the problem of code. Problem is in maybe if you don't understand it. So I thought it's better to keep it for advanced. Okay, if you people not need code, I have no problem. I'll provide you the code also. Okay, you can use it and run it.
Okay, thank you so much, ma'am.
Yeah, welcome. And also about Monte Carlo experiment that you mentioned here, or maybe many people will also think about Monte Carlo experiment. So see, there is a debate still. Monte Carlo experiment tells us even like if it is 40% clarity, we can use this or that. But that is why you will see many people using different system, Sargent, Hansen. And that is why we also said GMM is a bit complicated and advanced because there is no clear-cut literature telling us whether to prefer it or not. Okay?
Okay, ma'am. Thank you
Yes.
so much.
Welcome.
Okay. Next is Gauhar Mir.
Yes, Gaur.
Hello, ma'am.
Hello.
Ma'am, I just want to know that how can we run the topic model and the profit model if I have the this pen and data
Okay.
in Stata?
Okay, I'll show you. I'll take 1 minute, tell you. Okay. But remember one thing I told you already. Some people were asking for the book. I recommended them that they can go for microeconometrics using the strata, and also microeconometrics. There are two books, microeconometrics, and second one is microeconometrics using the strata. You might be thinking ki why there is no book on macroeconometrics. So Cameron and Trivedi, they work in the field of microeconometrics. Okay, so that's what. If you get both the books, okay, and I'm telling you, I'm very sure about microeconometrics using the strata. It is available online. Okay, you can search for it. I don't have the link for it, but that is how I downloaded it and printed it. Okay, you need to learn anything, you can just use that book. It will tell you all the command, but I'll just take a moment to show you where the probit model is in the strata. Okay, though it is not concerned with this workshop, but I'll show you. Sometimes we are confused. So probit model, as you already know, is called as censored regression model. Sometimes we also call it limited dependent variable model, but it's a part of censored model. Okay, so you go to statistics. You were saying you have panel data, go to panel data. You go to the censored outcomes, you go to probit.
Ma'am, can you please put the name of the book in the chat box?
Just 1 minute. By default, you see there is only random effects. So there is no fixed effect in probit, but you can do this. Okay. Now tell me, yes.
Ma'am, I was asking for the name to be written in chat box. Please write the name in the chat box of the author of the book or books.
Okay, I'm just writing. Authors are Cameron and Trivedi. You may also get access to, I think they also have a slide set made on GMM estimation. So book's name is Microeconometrics. And second book is there are many books. If you ask me, Baltagi, Woolris, books are very good. But this one, I think, is one which is very, having a practical approach. So I recommend it. Otherwise, also, you can, there are so many authors, you can read any book.
So should we move to the next one? We will share the PPT also if someone is like interested in having the name of the papers which ma'am suggested. So we'll share the PPT of yesterday also. She has listed down very clearly to the relevant literature. So you can have them. So our next participant is Mr. Vaibhav Pandey. Sir, please, you may ask your question.
Hello, ma'am.
Hello.
Should we take n-1 dummies or n dummies for year dummies?
You can. I have also taken it earlier in the same format. Okay, you just write generate. There is a command for it. Okay, you do generate whatever year you are generating, then do n-1. It generates, gives you the dummy. There is no problem to it. This one is simple one. Tabulate gen, easily done. Okay, that one is the method. That one is the method which I have also used. Okay, because I wasn't aware about it. Okay, so I also became aware about it, I think 2-3 days back, and I thought it's very easy. Why to generate so many dummies? You just tabulate, generate. But you can only use this tabulate gen, I am telling you, in the case of this, for example, if your, dummies you have clear, like year dummies are very clear. So you can use tabulate gen command for year dummies. You don't have to do 10, 15, 30 commands. Easily generate, and it's better than generating on our own. Okay.
And ma'am, please organize a workshop on like DID and PSM approach, difference in difference and probability score matching.
Yeah, I understand. But why I have not taken it? Because generally people, my scholars also use it. It's basically more about time series. But yes.
Yeah, sure. We have also noted down the request. We'll have one session on time series as well later on. So we are planning to have that.
On DID and PSM approach, difference in difference and probability score matching.
Yes.
Because it's now being used.
Even when you need this, you also need cross-section dependence. Okay. But yeah. I was focusing on panel.
Next is Mr.
Can I ask one?
Yes,
Okay,
please.
sir. Okay, sir, you ask. Okay, we have to.
Okay,
Anirudh,
so
sir.
I was just asking that when you have taken the dummies, generally we know that if there are multiple categories, right, we convert them into n minus one dummies or k minus one dummies. So in this case, what dummy you have taken? Because in the command you have written year and then the dummy command. So have you converted the years into dummies? Uh, Actually, I
I'll,
didn't got it.
I'll tell you, there is like a lot of confusion on dummy, okay? Because I also teach RM to my students. So sometimes we think that we create dummy in multiple categories, okay? I understand what you are saying. Let's say we have categories of a student who are scoring A grade, B grade, C grade, D grade. Okay, we have 4 grades, not one. But you know one thing, when you practically work, theoretically we think we are creating 4 categories, but practically when you create it, you have to create 4 dummy variables there. Okay, not, it does not work with the single one. Theoretically we think we are creating one, it's 4 there. So that is why I personally think this tabulate works better than that, but there is no problem in using generate replace command. You can always use it. I also, you will see in the do file, I think so, maybe I have deleted it. First I try to use it only. Okay, this one is simple. That is why I have taken it. Simple to understand, efficient than that one. Yes.
My just question was that are you creating it for the panels, the dummies, or the particular the
Okay.
year you are?
Okay, I'll tell you. If you want to really want to know what the dummy is about. Okay. So there are 10-year dummies there that we have taken. The data is of 10 years. So let's say, I don't know what the name is given to it. Let me see.
Dumb one, dumb one,
Dumb 1, dumb 2, dumb 3. Okay. So dumb 1, if you see, dumb 1 says 2014 is 0. Let me see if I'm reading it correctly. Let me just browse the data and see. So dumb 1 tells us if 2014, then 1, otherwise 0. Okay.
Okay.
If you want, I can just show it so that 2 of you are asking the same question, that you don't have any problem. Okay. See. So if you browse the data, it is here. Okay. You see the dummy. Okay. Let's say this one is the 2014. Okay. I go to dummy 1. So 2014 is 1, others are 0. So it will, when you interpret the dummy output, okay, we also need to interpret it. Then you will interpret with significance to 1, because you will get the result when there is a value in at the rate 0, you are not getting any dummy interpretation. Same for dummy 2, 2015 1, otherwise 0. Okay. So maybe in your mind, if you think that way, like you were asking, okay, there are 10 dummies, but we actually have to generate 10 dummies. Theoretically, we think it's 1 dummy, and that is why I'm also saying it's year dummy. Okay, I'm not saying taking name like 2015, 2016, 2017, but you have to create so many dummies. Okay, you can do, all of you who are interested, you can do it by generate and replace. I have also done it. The book that I have suggested will tell you very nicely what are the codes to generate those dummies. But if you have to simply generate year dummies, you can use tabulate gen. These are 2 commands, not 1. First you are tabulating your years, then you are generating it. It's
So
just
we are not taking any base for all the years we are doing the dummies.
okay. I'll come to your question. If you are really maybe your question is different than what I'm answering, but I'm answering on the basis of what we have done. Let's say in my data, okay, I think there is a crisis. Okay, I think yesterday when I shared, or maybe today also, I don't remember, I have shared at EC dummy also. That was energy crisis dummy. Okay, that dummy I have generated. Simply generate EC dummy if years are greater than 2015, otherwise 0. But here I am generating dummy for all the years. Okay, both are different, so you can do that as well. I have used those kind of dummy so many times, but it will use for one particular event. Like for example, in the case of pharmaceutical R&D, I use for before patent regime, before SPR, stronger patent regime after that. So then you need only one dummy, but I have taken it for all the years, and you will really see many people taking all the year dummies so that you understand how this data was different than different in all the years. Okay, are there some impact variables? When you read the literature, you will get so many papers on these kind of dummies. I also have used it. Okay.
Next is Shehzad Ali.
Shehzad Ali. Okay.
Hello, ma'am. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Shehzad.
Ma'am, actually, I want to ask. Yesterday, I've asked about the static or dynamic, but if we are using Hofmann test for dynamic model, we are getting whether we'll go for random effect or fixed effect.
No, no, no. I have explained it, and that is why. See, you people were telling me that we should explain it when we do in the session. Okay, I'll tell you. But why I was making a separate slide with so much material so that you are not confused. Now let's see. Okay, written very clearly, and I understand your confusion. Because Hofmann test is one test that we use for fixed and random effects to understand whether to employ fixed or random. But I told you before in this session only, but I'm repeating it again. Hofmann test, if employed after a Lano-Bond estimator, it tells you you have to employ it only after, let's say, difference estimator to know whether you should go for system estimator or not. Okay. So if you employ it after it, what it gives us? See, very clearly written here in the red, a significant p-value of this test will tell you rejecting the null hypothesis of the random effects difference GMM model being consistent, we have to go for the fixed effect or system GMM model. So random and fixed. Okay. Basically, your difference GMM operator works here as random effects. System works as fixed effect. Simple. I hope I answered your query.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, one more thing.
Yes.
So if for choosing the variables, control variables, so which control variable we have to drop and which to include in our model to bring it to increase our R square?
See, again, I'm specifying it for you. Any model, any methodology, do not tell you anything about your theoretical framework. It comes from your theoretical understanding, theoretical knowledge. See, if you have proper theoretical knowledge, okay, let me tell you one thing. You will know your correct variables. Of course, their significance may be a little bit different in your model because your sample may be very different than what is discussed in theory. So it is not like uniform sample, but it comes again from your theoretical understanding, not from methodological understanding. Methodological understanding helps you to understand what you have specified is correct in your case or not. Otherwise, you will see so many papers on the same kind of model. Let's say profit persistence. There are so many studies on profit persistence, so many studies on profitability. Okay, so all of us know what is like very significant variable, what is not very significant. But in your case, you will find what was very significant is not very significant in your own case. Why? Because your sample is different. Okay.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, one more thing that for endogeneity, we have three issues regarding it. One is for omitted variable bias, another one is reverse causality, and another one is simulated. But if you are using Hofmann test, it ignores these all three biasness.
See, one thing is there. I'm telling you one thing. If you are using difference or system estimator, only three tests that you need to include, okay, are basically Hansen or Sargent. And the test, that is why I have taken only three tests. So you need it. Other things, causality and all, are definitely taken care by the model itself. Okay, that is why we say the model is a bit complicated and advanced. There are few things that are not taken by the model, which are cross-section dependence, and that you need to go for the another kind of model in that case, which I haven't covered for sure, because it basically engages more about time series. So how many questions do we have now?
Yes, ma'am. We have like three more people. Miss Shruti,
Okay.
one is Mr.
Okay,
Sheikh, Junaid, and Dikshita Thakkar.
Okay, I thought if there are many, I need to just have some water. Otherwise, it's fine.
You can take it. ma'am,
No, no,
please.
3 is
Please
okay. I
help.
don't. Yes, please tell us.
So, Miss Shruti, please, you may ask your question.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Good afternoon, Shruti.
Ma'am, actually, I have two questions. One
Okay.
is like I have heard about ARDL,
Okay.
autoregressive distributed lag model. So, is it same like of GMM, or what is the difference? Like, because it
There is,
also talks about lags and everything else.
I understand, because it's, talking about autoregressive lag structure. Okay. So
Okay.
you can use it, but autoregressive lag structure is different than when your model is persistent. If your theory is suggesting your model is persistent, then you will use GMM. Otherwise, you can go for ARDL. Okay. Earlier, also when I was doing it, I was also going for ARDL because it's simpler than this one, if you ask me.
Okay.
But depends on your theory. If your theory is dynamic, please go for it, not for ARDL. But it also depends on your data, what kind of data you have. Your problem, when you go for the model, any model, okay,
Okay.
not about GMM or anything, it should
Right.
be coming from your research problem. Okay. We do not compare like this model is better or this model is not better, or this
Right.
model is recent or this model is not recent. I always suggest all my research scholars, we do not go by that way. Only thing is that what is your problem? So on the basis of your problem, you will select the model. Okay.
Okay. Fine. And ma'am, also I want to know, like, in case of corporate governance,
Okay.
like I'm collecting the data for corporate governance, and it is secondary in nature, like 0 or 1 is in the form of binary. So in that case, I am
But how can
eventually
it be
making.
secondary if I'm understanding it properly? When you
Sorry.
are collecting primary data, it cannot be
No,
secondary.
no, no, no.
Those are
I'm not
different.
collecting. It's kind like I'm collecting it from the
Extracting.
banking statements. Yes, yes, extracting.
Okay.
Um, so eventually I'll be making the indexes of each
Okay.
of the component. And
Okay.
can this kind of data be run on through GMM?
Your indices you want to run through GMM.
Right.
See, Shruti, one thing is there. I'll telling you. If your data has a number of cross section into time series, you can that get it. But what I think, what how you are describing it, it's more about cross section data than time series. Of course, then in that case, it's not applicable.
Okay.
Depends on your data.
Isn't it panel, ma'am? Like, because uh, in that case, it's like I have certain number of banks, like there are 30 banks, and
Okay.
number of years is 12 years.
Okay, so then it's not cross section. Then it is, of course, you are having panel. If you have panel, you can go for this
So
GMM.
it's like so just I wanted to know that in indexes I'll be making. So is it possible to run the like that kind of indexes through GMM?
Shruti, indices are mainly run by it for sure. You can run GMM for indices, but many people they use cross section dependence analysis for if they are using so many indexes. Okay, if you are using so many indices, maybe you need to think about your methodology. Otherwise also there is no problem in running GMM, but you may
But there are
also,
only 10 indices, like.
yes, but 10 is so much if you only have 10 indices.
Okay.
Okay. So there are other models also, like I'm telling you, you will see lot many people use it, even my own research scholars, because they are using indices. Okay. So maybe not be the GMM, but first you have to check cross-section dependence for that. So accordingly, you have to choose the model.
Okay.
If everything is right, you can go along with GMM also. Okay.
Fine.
Next one, please.
Next is Sheikh Junaid.
Yes.
So please ask your question. Okay. So maybe we can take
Hello.
the another. Okay.
Good
Please.
afternoon, ma'am.
Good afternoon. Yes.
Ma'am, actually, I got one confusion. You have reported in slides that number of instruments should be greater than number of groups.
Yes,
But I have seen, I
yes.
have seen in the papers that they have reported that number of instruments should be less than the number of groups.
Theoretically, they say it should be greater than, but maybe I need to go back to those papers and see it. Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay.
I think it is reverse because I have seen it.
No, I understand what you see, but I also have seen it in the reverse way. So maybe I was also telling you earlier as well that there is a lot of debate on many things when it comes to GMM. So yeah.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay.
Thank you.
So last one is Dikshita Thakkar. Ma'am, please, you ask your question.
Yeah, hi, good afternoon, ma'am.
Good afternoon.
I just want to know that you mentioned that DID and PSM is generally used in time series data.
No, I
But
never mentioned it. I didn't say anything about DID and PSM, if you ask me. I
Okay,
didn't even use DID and PSM. I just said will be using GMM. I just use GMM. Okay.
Okay, ma'am, because I heard in one of the comments that you mentioned it is generally used in time series, so I was confused.
But when I say generally used, doesn't mean only used. Okay. See, there has to be some scope boundary for one session, so we cannot learn everything in one. I just focus on GMM. Of course, there is instrumental variable regression also that we did not discuss. Okay, but there are other models also, like somebody's talking about ARDL. I just wanted to focus on GMM. Okay, that is it.
Okay, because I was using this model in my paper, which is a panel data, this thing. So I was
Yes.
confused a bit that if I can use this or not.
I hope your confusion is clear now.
Yes, ma'am. I'll look for it if DID and PSM can be used.
Yes. PSM, yeah, you check it.
Yeah. Okay.
So there is one question, ma'am, in chat box. When the number of instrument is greater than the number of groups, will it not lead to overfitting? So it is asked by Ms. Garima Gupta.
Garima has also asked. So I have answered it, but see, I told you there is also still a bit of confusion even after Monte Carlo experiment, say. So it also depends on, see, whenever you check anything, you need to check it in the holistic view. If your world chi-square, your F statistic, all is proving your model to be right, then it is right. But it is one additional thing to check. That's it.
So I think, ma'am, we are done with the questions. Yes, I'll just check on the comment box once again. But in case if we missed out some query, you please write to us on the feedback form and we will definitely get back to you on that. Yes, ma'am, like I think we have taken all the queries. I would like to thank you for giving us the 2 days time and like letting us have this very insightful session. So I thank all the participants for joining us, and soon we will be having few like next topic also, and we will like communicate it with you. So Shilpi ma'am, really thank you for like saying yes to us and having a session for our participants. So I think this is the end. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for joining.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Shireen, for giving me this opportunity.
No, ma'am, it's our pleasure. Like it is. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. We'll share the record.